So one of the things that you need to be aware of, Josephine and Jackson County, we are in a valley surrounded by mountains on both sides, and because of that, when we have forest fires even as far away as eastern Oregon, depending on how the wind blows, well, it can move that smoke into this valley. And this morning I checked our index, and I think we were at it was either 117 or 171, so it was considered unhealthy. Yesterday it was actually fairly clear, but not this morning. Wind must have changed and moved a bunch of smoke into this area, which is unfortunate, but it is part of living in the Pacific Northwest and in this particular area. And you see that it almost looks like fog. So you wake up in the morning, and I think if you look at the hillside here, it almost looks like a fog coming down. Well, it's not fog, it's smoke. So we have a couple of air cleaners that are constantly running in our house, and then the new house we're designing is going to have a 5-inch pleated filter, and that fan in the summertime, the HVAC will run continuously non-stop, just to help clean up that air that we're experiencing now in this area. So there are good days and there's bad days. If you're thinking about visiting, it shouldn't affect you terribly too long, but if you're thinking about moving to this area, well, it's something to take into consideration. And there's workarounds, obviously, but you'll want to make sure that you have an air cleaner in your car, because we do spend a tremendous amount of time in the car, and something to address your HVAC. Generally speaking, outdoor activities aren't limiting, only because you might be outside for the day. But if you do have upper respiratory afflictions, you might want to rethink that. If you're just visiting, again, not a problem, more than likely, but moving here, well, that's a whole nother story. For me, I don't have upper respiratory issues other than seasonal allergies. So today we're going to head south. We're going to head south to an area called Pluto Caves. I've never been there. Similar to the previous video, Grayback Road. Never been to that area. Loved it. Thought it was absolutely fantastic. Well, today it's Pluto's Cave, and that's in Northern California. Really looking forward to that drive, because I'm trying to kick off of I-5 as soon as possible. We've got about an hour-long drive to the cave from Ashland, which is my home base, of course, those of you that have been following the channel. So I hope you enjoy the ride this morning. If you enjoy the content, you enjoy my channel, please consider liking this video and subscribing. As well, share it. That'll help grow the channel. Well, this is a perfect example of how the smoke can affect this area. If you look over here to my right, you see those hills. It looks like somebody painted them in. Well, or straight ahead. Yeah, it comes in, and it's pretty thick. So I'm hopeful that we're going to get to an area where we don't have this much smoke. Granted, I only have 10 more miles to go before I'm off the interstate, so we'll see. But anyhow, it's an adventure, right? That's why we do what we do. Well, just over the border just past the California inspection station on I-5, and we are going to take the first exit, and that is exit number 789 towards Henley. So very excited about this now that we're off the freeway, and we're going to head south by southeast of the I-5. Well, this is a lovely area that I'm in. Got off I-5 and we're scooting along just east of I-5 as we're heading south, and this is just absolutely beautiful. Large prairie ranges. We've seen actually a couple of ranches with cows, and you know, beautiful hillsides. A lot of variety in geography. It's just a wonderful, beautiful area. I mean, some people might find this to be, you know, this dry prairie, right? These grasses to be kind of boring, but I find them to be pretty. But during the spring and the fall, they'll turn green again, but this time of the year they're all brown, because unless they have irrigation rights, there's not enough water this time of the year. This area of California probably only gets, oh, I would venture to say 80 days of rain total in a year, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Yeah. Well, I think we are in the town of Auger. And so I figured, well, I'll show you what Auger looks like. That's a cool building. Okay, now folks, I think the end of it is right here. So we just started, and look, that is a cool building too. I wonder if it's for sale. These are really cool buildings. I love the character. I mean, look at the story right there. Did you see that? With the brick and then the plaster over it. Stucco. It's probably stucco. Oh, Montague. I'm sorry. This is not Auger. That was Montague. So I finally saw a sign. Montague, California. Super cute. Not a lot going on. It'd be really great if they came up with, you know, with a revitalization plan for that downtown. I mean, there's just so much potential there. And folks, I think that was it. Like I said, super cute. How's that for a sight? Isn't that something? That's some eye candy for you. Here it is, August, 80 degrees outside. We still have snow on the mountain. Absolutely lovely. And I love this area, how you can go 5-10 miles and now you can see how drastic the landscape has changed. We're into these beautiful pines and out of the grasslands and into the tree line. It's just lovely. Well, what they don't tell you when you're over at looking at Google Maps is that venturing out here to Pluto's cave is that we have sand off of the beaten highway. So if you're not okay with sand, and obviously it's not that much of a terrain because this little Toyota looks like a Prius is making it. Not a big deal. But there is some super soft sand, and so you might want to You might want to take your time. And I'll show that to you on the way out. But here we are. Let's see. Pluto's Cave. Open 1 hour before and after sunset. Stay on the trails. Okay. Well, I don't know how far it is, but let's go check it out. So Pluto's Cave, you're not going to actually see the cave itself, but I thought I'd show some of the trail going to the cave. It's not very strenuous. It's only about, well, depending on which side of the cave you're on when you park, 1/3 of a mile to 1/2 a mile. But you can see how soft this sand is. And so that's, you do have to be aware if you come on 2 wheels, that depending on the time of the year, you may be dealing with some super soft sand. And I'll film the way out. I don't know why I didn't film the way in, but that's okay. Very short and not terribly too technical. The other thing while walking around is just keep in mind, this area does have rattlesnakes. And so as you're just enjoying your walk in, you know, just be on the lookout for snakes. Easy to avoid them. They usually hide and they're not out on the trail. Early morning they might be out on the trail sunning themselves to warm up, but otherwise they're not. So that's it. And one of the reasons why you're not going to see the cave is because, well, it's already starting to get hot in the day. I didn't come early enough, and well, I don't have anywhere to secure my helmet, so that's okay. I guess I could have carried it. I could have put it in my backpack, but I'm going to come back. I'm encouraged to come back and bring my daughter, as she likes caves. So this is again example of the trail, and I'll film on the way out. Okay, so here we are. Probably should put this into off-road mode. I didn't even know. Let's see here. Yeah, I should. You know what, I'll just put it in the rain so I can get more traction. All right. And I am burning up. It's 80 degrees. That's why I didn't go all the way to the cave. So here in the main parking area, not a problem. Here, I'm going to stand up so you can see better. So not terribly too technical, easy to pick your lines. Okay. And I'm a novice. That's why I usually try staying on the road. That, and you know, this bike's 640 pounds, so not fun to pick up from the ground when it's laying down, even though it doesn't lay completely flat. It's this part up here that I just chose the wrong line. I went to the left here and you can see how soft that is, but going to the right, a lot harder pack here. Shouldn't, yeah, not an issue. Not an issue going to the right. A little bit of soft sand here. There we go. And we're through. Yeah, coming in, I laid the bike down. I got through that sandy section, but the wheel right at the base, that or right on the other end of that soft section, just buried itself. And so you know, the bike didn't want to go any further, and sometimes it's easier to let it go and pick it back up again, start over. So that's it. Very short, not very far. Anyhow, we'll talk soon.